Howdy, everybody. Um, so lately I've been reading a lot in Isaiah and in Ezekiel. And today, when I was reading, God been leading me a lot, like repeatedly, to Ezekiel 15. So I'm just like, what is he trying to say to me? Um, I don't know, but so I've been thinking about it a lot lately, I guess, is my point. And I guess kind of like, well, just to give you an idea of what Ezekiel 15 is about, is it's not a very long thing. You should definitely read it yourself. It's just talking about how, like, the useless vines growing amongst the trees, and it was talking about how Israel had become a useless vine growing amongst the trees, more or less like that. Read it, you'll see what I'm saying. Um, but yeah, so I've been trying to ponder that one, and even um, doing a bit more of like a deep dive kind of thing. And anyways, I was just thinking, like, gotta be careful. Um, and I'm saying this for myself too, but gotta be careful not to get too comfortable or complacent in your walk with God. Like, it's so easy to become that useless vine that it talks about. And what that means is like, to not bear fruit, to not bear the fruit that you're supposed to carry. Um, and like, just because we're, as Christians, or, for that passage was talking about Jewish people. But just because you're the chosen group, or you're chosen by God, you have a purpose. And I did a video on purpose, so check that one out. But just because you have an assignment, you're given something to steward, doesn't mean you're like safe from God's judgment or expectations, or his wrath kind of thing. Like, um, I mean, you don't have to earn your salvation like that. Jesus took care of that. Um, but that doesn't mean you can just do nothing, I guess. God's going to be the ultimate judge of everybody. And it's not our jobs to say who's in or who's out. It's not up for us to decide. It's not up to any person. That's God's and God's alone, to say, who's, for lack of better words, in or out. you know. Um, and at the end of times, it's going to be Jesus who's, making that call, not us. And our job is to be fruitful. Our job is to bear fruit. The fruits of the Spirit, I guess, come to mind. Peace, patience, love, kindness. I know there's a bunch of them. Should look that up for sure. And I'm not talking about being busy. So I'm not talking about works. You don't have to earn anything. That's like religion right there. That tells you have to do all this stuff in order to be, right with God and stuff. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about fruit, fruitfulness. Because being busy with doing things, even if it like looks, good, or you're helping the poor or whatever, if you're not fruitful, then it doesn't mean anything. You can be busy and not fruitful. I guess if you don't like apply what you believe and what you're learning into your life and live it out, then what's the point of it, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. Just I've been pondering about this a lot, and especially since like I do feel like God's given me something big to carry and to steward and to eventually turn into something. And I really want to make sure that I'm being fruitful, not just being busy, that what I'm putting my energy and focus on is producing fruit in myself and hopefully, ideally, in others. And I'm going to be held accountable for what I do in this life, and it is going to be even more so. I think scriptures talk about this all the time. I mean, I think that's partially why I've been in Isaiah and Ezekiel, because it's like they're warnings. The greater the responsibilities you have or the influence you have on people, like anybody who's in any kind of leadership, you need to be on the ball, putting in the work with God, because you're going to be judged more than the average person, right? Because you have influence over the relationship other people have with God, and that's like the most important thing, is your relationship with God and walking that out. So yeah, just wanting to say, I was just, as I was pondering this, I'm just like, wow, let God, please don't let me be a useless vine, I don't want to be busy and not fruitful. I don't want to waste my time, right? So anyways, there's my 2 cents, and till next time. Bye.